بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. On behalf of the whole ICCP family and community, I'd like to welcome all of you to ICCP, especially if it's your first time, and wish you all Ramadan Mubarak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to complete the month of Ramadan successfully in the best of health and well-being, and may all of our fasts and good deeds in this month be accepted. Say Ameen. So we recited in the first rak'ah a series of verses in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the seen and the unseen. We begin with Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the universe. And the universe, of course, is comprised of that which we know, Al-Alam, and all of the other worlds that collectively are Al-Alameen, that which are seen and that which is unseen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman, as Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ar-Rahman fi dunya. He is excessively merciful in this world, but He is Rahim fil akhirah. وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is exclusively merciful to the believers in the akhirah. Maliki yawmiddin. He is the master of the day of judgment. Also the unseen. Then we say إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ in the midpoint of Surah Al-Fatiha, and then we pivot into the dua. So here we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance, and guidance is with respect to that which we can see, that which we know about. But guidance is also with respect to the unseen, what is to come and what will transpire on the Day of Judgment. And so the believer is making this dua at a minimum of 17 times in the day. And then in Surah Al-Baqarah, in many ways, stands as a response to that prayer. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. That is the book in which there is no doubt, or that is the book there is no doubt within. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Remember we said ihdina, we said, oh Allah, guide us. Here is the guidance. Huda, but it's not a guidance necessary that all will benefit from. It is هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is a guidance for the people of taqwa. And the people of Ramadan are the muttaqeen. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that the purpose of fasting is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, in order that you will attain for piety. So guidance comes to those who pay attention to their seen sins. Because taqwa is that as if you're rushing through a path in which is very thorny, in which there are bushes and you need to get through in order to reach your destination. So it's something which you can see, it's something that you're aware of, it is something which is seen, but it is something which is unseen. How is that the case? Because you're paying attention to your actions which are seen, but in a context in which no one sees you except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That أَن تَعْبُدَ اللَّهَ كَأَنَّكَ تَرَاهُ, that you worship Allah as if you see Him. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. So although you do not see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the knowledge that Allah always sees you is sufficient to cause you to guard your actions and to protect yourself from falling into that sin. Again, seen and unseen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, and then He describes who are the people who are motivated by taqwa, which is unseen, in order to do actions which are seen, because they're trying to protect themselves from the future, which is also unseen. And now behind us, many of you have seen the activity building going up. And some of you have come and asked me, they said, well, we don't see anything going up. Where's the walls? Where's the ceiling? Where's the roof? Where's the building that's happening? And the believer is similar to that, because our roots go deep into the ground. There's so much work behind this building that we couldn't even begin to comprehend. The amount of the utilities that had to come in, the sewer line that had to be done, the river road, the state highway that had to be shut down in order to connect the water and the sewer and the electricity and to pour the foundations, and all of this happened. We're like, where's the building? Because it's all unseen. And now that we're almost at the midpoint where we're going to put in the steel inshallah in the next few days, and we're going to pour the remaining footing and cement in, and then you're going to see the roof inshallah, and the timber come in, and the frames start to come, and structurally it will appear as a building. It started and it rested on a foundation which is unseen. And so similarly, the believer has to start with that unseen in order for that foundation to be strong. Allah mentions three things about the believers. He says, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةِ وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions three things. And of course, they're motivated by their faith in the akhirah, which is also unseen, which is that they have iman bil-ghayb. They have faith in the unseen. And they establish prayer, which is something which is outward, something which is seen. وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةِ, and they give in charity. And so what's amazing about these verses is that in Surah Al-Fatiha we talked about what is seen and what is unseen, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the winning formula in Surah Al-Baqarah, a guide for our lives, the first major surah that was revealed in Medina. The constitution for the believers, that you start with your iman bil ghayb, but that iman brings you to action. If the iman is in your heart, then you're going to do something. So if you believe that Allah is going to hold you accountable for your salah, what is that going to move you to do? That is going to move you to pray. If you believe that you were put on this earth and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed the dunya in your hands in order to utilize that which you have been given for the afterlife in which everything will be taken away, then you're going to use the dunya for the akhirah. And this is the opposite of what is described in ayah number 16. The hypocrites, they sell the akhirah for the dunya. And in another verse, وَالْعَذَابَ بِالْمَغْفِرَةِ, they end up seeking the punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Allah's forgiveness. And what does Allah say about this transaction? فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ. This transaction is a complete failure. وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. What is the failure? What was it that we're supposed to be seeking? Guidance. And what do they end up with? Without guidance. So if you have iman in your heart, bil ghayb, in the unseen, it's going to move you to action. And the action which is outward is the thing which is going to safeguard your heart. It is what is going to increase you in taqwa. And that taqwa is what's going to protect you in the akhirah, again in the unseen. The reason I mention this is because in the coming days, in the coming weeks, as you know, Dr. Tariq and I, we're not those kind of fundraisers where we close the doors, close the windows, and try to squeeze people in order to give lots of money. Our belief is that everyone in ICCP is passionate about this project. The believers have vision. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He mentions their actions, He says, وَهُمْ بِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. They do the outward actions because they believe and they're confident in the akhirah. So the person who is investing in this dunya, no amount of fundraising and soliciting funds is going to get them to give. But the person who is thinking about the akhirah and what they can do in this world in order to invest in their afterlife, that person is seeking and waiting for opportunities. So I want to invite myself and all of you this month of Ramadan, as you invest in your siyam, as you invest in your fasting, in your prayer, also seek closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through generosity. Because that is one of the three characteristics that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes as the keys to getting guidance and getting the unseen and success in the akhirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to benefit from the words of the Quran. Make us the people of the Quran, hum ahlullahi wa khasatu, those who are elite and close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah raise us with the Quran. May Allah gather us with the people of the Quran. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers and our fasting and all of our good deeds. Ameen. Bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. A reminder to everyone that please make the intention for fasting for the whole month of Ramadan, and also make the intention for fasting tomorrow. And you can continue to do so throughout the month of Ramadan.